oh my god, oh my god. This thing is a beast. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the Phoenix from Kingdom Death. No, yes, pun was intended. Anyways, this thing is a monster. And I'm going to have fun painting. Well, I had fun painting it, but I'm going to show you how I painted it. Guys, enjoy this video while I put myself in focus. There we go. This is an awesome model, guys. I had real fun painting it. And if you want to know how I painted this, watch this video and I will show you step by step. This is a crazy model. Anyways, enjoy. Alright, I am going to paint this bastard. This thing is huge. Phoenix from Kingdom Death. First paint I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the skin, and I'm going to do the skin purple. So I'm going to use Pro Acryl Dark Purple. Alright, now that I've got that purple drying, it's okay that it's still wet. I'm going to start doing the small feathers leading up to the big feathers with Pro Acryl Blue Black. And this will get all the tiny feathers around the legs as well as the bone structure of the wings. Black blue drying on the smaller wings here. On the bigger wings, I'm going to give this thing a coat of base Pro Acrylic Jade. Now that I've finished with the jade on the bigger feathers, I'm going to do some blue on the back feathers. To do that, I'm going to use Pro Acryl Blue. Now I finished putting my base coats on for the Phoenix itself. Some of the detailed stuff I haven't painted, but I've got my purple, my black blue, my jade, my blue, and I've kind of put a little bit of blue on the tips of the wings as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash the whole Phoenix that I've painted with Druchii Violet from Citadel. So the purple wash is now dry on this big crazy bastard, and it helps blend in all the colors on this, like with the wings and the dark and the blues. It all fades into each other. Well, it helps, it fades in. So now we're gonna start doing some dry brushing on this guy, and what I want to do is I'm gonna start dry brushing the skin first. So the skin's like a purplish color, and I'm gonna use the first hit of dry brush around the skin. I'm gonna use Pro Acryl Purple. Now that I've done the dry brush with the purple, I'm actually going to hit it with this lighter dry brush of purple, and to do that I'm going to use Pro Acryl Faded Plum. This will give it a nice little light touch around the edges and the more pronounced parts of this model. So I've gone and done the dry brush with the light plum. Purple skin looks pretty damn good. Now I'm going to start doing a dry brush on the dark part of the wings, and to do that I'm going to use Pro Acryl Dark Blue. Dry brush to the dark feathers has been finished. Now we're going to start dry brushing the jade that I painted. We're going to do that with a brighter color, Pro Acryl Turquoise. So I finished dry brushing the wings with the turquoise. Looks pretty sick, actually. Now we're going to start working on the darker blue stuff that we did for the back of the wings and a bit of the tip of the wings as well. So we're going to start dry brushing that, and we're going to do that using Pro Acryl Sky Blue. The dry brush of the sky blue is finished. We are going to do one more dry brush to the feathers, and that's to the blue part and to the tips of the wings, and that's going to be with a gray blue. Now this is a lighter blue, and this will kind of make them pop a little bit where it needs to around the back, just to make it a bit brighter. Now the next thing that I'm going to do to this phoenix is I'm going to start doing the flesh on it. Not the flesh on the phoenix itself, but like the human flesh and in the mouth. So I'm going to go inside the mouth. I'm going to give that all a base coat, and this thing's got a whole bunch of little hands on it all over the place, and we're going to pick those out. Got some hands around the legs. Also, he's got some hands coming out of his butthole, so we're going to get those as well. Good place to have hands, I would say. But yeah, let's start picking those out, and to do that we are going to use Pro Acryl Shadow Flesh. Oh my god, there is a lot of hands on these things. So that took me a while off the scenes to paint every single one of these hands, and I think I got every single one of them. Don't think I missed one. So now that the flesh is dry, I'm going to go and do a wash of all the skin I just did with Reichland Flesh Shade. So we finished the wash on the skin. Now we're gonna go around with a small dry brush, and I actually just use a cheap brush, give it a flat end as much as I can, and we're gonna use that, or we're gonna use Pro Acryl Tan Flesh to go around and paint all that fleshy hands and inside of the mouth. Those hands were crazy, but now that we're done doing the dry brushing on the hands and the mouth, we are going to there's all the hands. It's crazy. Okay, now we're going to work on the tongue and the mouth, and to do this we're going to actually go back over it and we're going to base it with Pro Acryl Burnt Red. So we based the tongue with burnt red. We are now going to give that tongue a wash of Agrex Earth Shade. Now that the Agrex Earth Shade wash is dry on the tongue, we're going to give it a layer of Pro Acryl Magenta. So with the tongue drying, with that magenta, I am going to go around now on this guy and start doing the nails, which are on the two hands and the 2 feet. as well as the big huge hands. I'm also going to start picking out the teeth, and to do all that I'm going to base it with P3 Jackbone. So we got the jackbone all painted on the teeth, beak, and all the nails and stuff. Now we're going to do the nails and teeth and beak different. So we're going to start with the teeth on the beak and on the mouth that's inside the guy. And we're going to do a wash over top of that with Citadel Seraphim Sepia. Alright, so we have the sepia drying on the teeth. With the nails and the finger claws, we're going to do something different. We're going to use a 50-50 mix of Game Ink sepia from Vallejo and water. While I'm waiting for the nails and the claws to dry from that ink water mixture, I'm gonna go back into the teeth because the sepia is dry, and now I'm just gonna go back with jackbone again, and I'm just gonna hit the tips of the teeth. Now I'm still waiting for the claws and nails to dry on this. I've done the teeth. I think what I'm going to do while I'm waiting is I'm going to bring out the eyes. And to do that, the eyeballs, I'm going to color the eyeballs just a straight ivory from Pro Acryl. So I've popped out the eyes, and in this guy's face too, and I'm going to keep them white. They'll show a little bit better once I finish painting the string of grass or whatever that I have hanging out of his mouth. The nails seem to be dry, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a slight dry brush of the jackbone again on the nails, but not too much because they're pretty good the way they are. I just want to kind of give a bit of a definition to them. So now that that's all dry, and I finished popping with the eyes, we're doing pretty good. The next thing we're going to work on is the branch, or the twig, or the long piece of grass that he has coming out of his nose, or that little face's nostril. I guess he's holding it, he's sniffing it, and holding it tight. But anyways, we're going to start painting that. We're going to give it a base color of Pro Acryl green. Okay, while I'm letting that coat of green dry on that piece of grass he's carrying, I'm going to start putting a base coat on the piece of wood or driftwood that he's standing on. And I'm going to do that using Pro Acryl Dark Umber. There's the wood. So I painted it with the dark umber, the wood log that he's sitting on. We're gonna let that dry. However, the green piece of grass that we did paint before that is now dry. So we're gonna give that a wash of the Athenian Camo shade from Citadel. So I put the wash on the piece of grass. It's almost dry, but it's not quite dry yet. But what is dry is the wood that he's sitting on. So I'm going to give that a wash, and I'm going to use Agrax Earthshade for that. Well, while we're waiting for the rest of that Agrax Earthshade to dry on the tree chunk or driftwood, we are now going to dry brush the piece of grass that he's holding on to. And we're going to use Pro Acryl Bright Yellow Green. Alright, so I finished off doing the dry brush to the piece of grass, so that's done. The wood that he's sitting on, or standing on, is now dry, so I'm going to give that a dry brush of Pro Acryl Light Umber. So I've dry brushed with the lighter umber. Looks good, looks dark. I'm now gonna do a bit of a dry brush with some of the golden brown from Pro Acryl. Probably do some of the pieces where it's like been broken off or something like that. We'll see how it goes. Well, I think the wood's done. Looks good. It's got that lighter dry brush on it around the edges. You know, just to look like it's more dry from the piece. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go around the white eyes, just around the edges, and I'm going to give it a line of Nuln oil. It's just to see if I can make the eyes pop out just a bit more. So I just gave a black outline to the eyes just to, close them into the skin a little bit. Makes them feel just a little bit better. Now what I'm going to do, we're almost done here, guys. I'm going to do a little bit of blood. So I'm going to do, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to do a little bit of blood in between the hands that are coming out of the butthole with blood for the blood god. And I might do a little bit of work around the jawline in the mouth. Wow. So I have now added a little bit of blood to the butthole. A little too dark for you to see, but I added some blood there, and I added some blood to the mouth just to make that look a little bit evil. Looks pretty good, I must say. Nice blood. Face looks a little crazy. Yeah, nice blood. I'm now going to paint the base with the best black in the world, Vallejo black. Ladies and gentlemen, the Phoenix is finished. So I went around, gave the base, painted the base black. He looks good. Purple skin, green grass. The blues came out good. There was a lot of hands on that. The wood's good. Butthole's got some blood. It's a pretty awesome model, guys. It is a huge model. This was commission work for gentlemen at work. I do some commissions. This is awesome. Thanks for watching. Guys, hit subscribe and hit like. Let me know you like it. Thanks, guys. See you later.